There was something that I wanted to talk about because it just keeps coming up over and over in the last couple days. And when I had said, I'm gonna like use some examples of like what people are going through right now, so they don't include me in some of these situations, but they're interesting. They make a point, just like when I talk about a show or something. So um one of the people, they're having this you know they haven't been married that long, and they'd been in a long relationship before they got married. And then when they got married, all of a sudden it was like all the problems became huge. And I have a lot of thoughts about that. For one thing, it is a lot to do to me about expectation, and you know it's all built up through media and different ways. But we have a high expectation. Either the marriage will save us or fail us. And most people get it in their head it's going to fail them, because that's what we've been. I'm even more, I feel like I'm squinting even more. I can barely see. I'm so tired. Stella keeps waking up earlier than normal, so I'm getting like an hour less of sleep. And my eyes get so, but as long as I can see stuff, then I gotta take it all in. So, okay, anyhow, then so there's an expectation there or something. And sometimes there's unresolved issues. Like, people think they've resolved a lot of stuff, but they still haven't, because you just can't see all things. It takes time. That's why it's hard to stay in the same relationship through your whole life, because you're not the same person your whole life. They're not the same person. And you could go through a time period where you don't like each other at all. And, that's, for some people, that's the breaking point. Yeah, everybody has their own thing, How can any of us tell somebody else how to live? And, anyways, so, and I think that the whole institution, it's a government institution, just like the education system. All their systems are, blowing up. They're showing themselves so that they can be purged out of our life. And so, anyways, they the whole point of the thing was, the frustration level builds and builds and builds and above, and gets a lot more to this breaking point. And one of the people had told me, that they felt like they kind of overreacted and they went a little too far. And this is a science person, somebody who's science is their God. So it's a different way of looking at the world, a different way of thinking about things. And but they can be completely, have so much compassion. I mean, this person is somebody who dedicates their time in life to helping people. So, but and then they had the sensitivity. They felt like they overreacted, like they really kicked them while they were down. And this is the part that I wanted to. This is what I talk about, like when I say, if you feel like you're being a dick, you're gonna be the bad guy sometimes. And I told this person, I said, well, at this point, you're the bad guy in this person's life. That's just the way it is. And you have to be able to recognize you play both parts in life. You won't just be one part the whole life. And I said, and also we have this, beautiful thing called redemption. You can go in and you can fix wounds as long as you are still alive. And the other thing too is, I said that, and I talk about this, and I just think it's so true. And even that guy, the past life or the near-death experience thing I watched this morning, Then he talked about this with his dad. But when you don't take your time of redemption, like you don't want to be vulnerable, you don't want to put yourself out there, you don't want to, maybe your ego's too big to say, like you're right or whatever. And so you continue this, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, it's destructive energy. So when you don't take that time to fix the pain that you've caused somebody else, that however it affects them, and it can be on any kind of scale, like none of us can know how another one has experienced anything, so how can we know what someone else is gonna, on their scale, how it's gonna affect them? We have no idea. So however it affects them and affects their generations after them, their kids' kids, because, if this person is one of those people then who just is just constantly defeated and they just keep looking for that out there, and you satisfy that need in them and give it to them, and they just continually find those messages in life, and however significant your interaction was with them and how much it affects. But that is where souls step back in, your ancestry and stuff. They're coming in trying to fix the things that they broke in other people, that affected their lineage and stuff, that affected the energy that they put out there. And that's why I talk about how significant it is, and what your legacy really is, your energetic imprint of how you've left the world. And it's about taking that serious while you're alive, because when you die and you go through the past, or the life review, then when you feel that pain and you want to fix it, you can't fix it. You're out of body. Then you're no longer incarnated in that situation, but you still have the effects of what you did as a soul. It's imprinted into your soul. So you carry that in life to life to life. And that's what a lot of lives are spent, trying to fix things and fix things. And people get in cycles and patterns. And that's why I said, there can be murders where it's a cycle. They just keep coming back, killing each other in these lives. And they put them on the news for us all to watch and be horrified. But, we don't know what these souls are going through, because there's a definite, things aren't by accident. That's where we're all being misled, that things are by accident. But that is why I try and talk about so much about how important it is how you affect other people, how you treat other people. You can't be reactive. You can't be, because you're coming from a place of pain, that it's okay to lash out at others, because that's going to energetically affect you in such a way. And that's what people think of as like the karmic ties and the karmic, it's the stones you throw in the ripple of the waves you cause. And it's on an energetic level. And the stuff you do affects more than this life. Like, people are so focused on this experience because it's a three-dimensional experience. It's, about your senses, and it's being manipulated, and they're telling you not to pay attention to your senses. If you do, as a matter of fact, you're a crazy person, and they'll put you on drugs. They run every single thing. They run, everything is an extension of them. Our medical, our, how people just don't see how much more they just want to get in our lives so they can control our lives more. The medical stuff that we have already is so corrupt, and they want to even get worse, and people are just being manipulated with words and stuff. And the language was, I believe, if it wasn't created to manipulate us, it was definitely early on known that it would be pretty easy to do. And that, just think of the different languages and stuff like that. You know, there's just a lot to translation and understanding, and we've just got to be, I don't know, like, just like what I was talking about, like months and months ago, when I started, really seeing that it didn't matter what was coming out of someone's mouth, that I understood what was really coming out of their heart. And I didn't need what was coming out of their mouth. I think we all need to get a lot more in touch with that. And it is a much more pure way to live, because you'll know in your heart if you're living from your heart. But also when you're living from your heart, you're going to feel the pain if you cause others pain. And, and it's by intention. Like, yeah, we're going to all hurt people by accident. I mean, that's how we learn, is things happen so that we can learn from them. And, that's this, what we're doing here. It's soul school, and everybody is so caught up in it that this is all there is. This is it. And and some people don't have good reactions. They do a lot of bad stuff. They focus on negative energy and they do bad stuff. But they can only do bad stuff to people who, in a soul thing, agree to come in and go through that experience with them. We can't be affected by things that we don't agree to, and that's the same thing with a disease and everything. And one thing too, I was thinking about, I was out cleaning the yard, and one of the things I was thinking about with that was, whenever I'm outside, kind of, I have to think about all of the situations around me, and what a vulnerable place it is to be as an older single female. And it is a very vulnerable place. And I wouldn't have known that until I had reached that status, And so now I can put it out there and say, yeah, this is a very, very vulnerable place to be in. And then, and I'm not a follower. So, there's ageism and there's a lot of stuff. Like, after a woman has reached menopause, a lot of them are willing to step into the closet and pretend like, or, cut their hair off and just say, okay, there isn't as many who are saying, hey, I'm still a feminine, I'm still a girl, and I still represent a woman, and I still have value. And so a lot of women haven't even found that power in themselves. So, and when you go to a different kind of culture, there's all different cultures all over our country. We think but they're very different. Like I've talked about before, the Amish community is very different than the Cajun community, very different than the Appalachian, very different than the Pacific Northwest. All of the different places have their different ways of being. And, so, it's weird when I, go out there, and I just think it's kind of crazy because, over there next door now, there's 4 kids, 5 dogs, 2 adults. Just, it's so loud and noisy and screamy. Across the street, the person who likes to call the authorities on me for being so loud is always outside on her phone, letting the whole neighborhood know about the drama, and who knows whose personal drama she's spreading, who knows. And then, that I'm the one who was the focus of being the problem, me with my 2 dogs. And, for some of the women, like the women who wanted to beat me up, it's funny because, if you do empower yourself to be yourself, and you don't go along with the isms and all that stuff, it's like people just don't get it. It's like, like something's wrong with you. And then plus I present, with all these tattoos. So, who knows what these people think of me. But definitely their reaction is to come at me. And right now I've very retreated. The dogs don't even go out front. They, I barely even let them bark or anything. So then I wonder, are these people like happy now? Are they nervous because they know I have their name? And there's I could take it further. But anyways, it's weird when you just, it makes me think about stuff like that, being out there and, what is it that, how you move into a community, what are the things that are so unaccepting about me? What is it that's different? I'm not a woman who's lived out here for 30 years whose husband died and they all have like, oh, well, they remember the husband. No, I'm just this tattooed woman who's moved out here, who's older, who, should just disappear. And I don't. I walk around in my yard in my swimming suit or whatever. I'm still a vibrant human being as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know, I don't know. Anyways, people are just all different. And when you come into a community and you're different, because I would be completely normal in a lot of places, they wouldn't even think twice about me. Southern California, Hawaii, a lot of places, are it's just different. Here, it's different. And, I don't know what makes me unacceptable or targeted. It's just weird, that there could be so much noise, but all they can see is me. It's just weird. But that's just all about perception, It's all about perception, and it's where you look, and, but anyways, I just feel like the more that we kind of like talk to each other on these kind of levels and stuff, it helps us all to grow and to just like think about things and to open our eyes to stuff that's right before us that we don't even see yet, I feel like that's how we, none of us can do it alone. We have to do it together. And, a big part of it is just putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and taking risks, with the people around you. And, and if you've done something crappy to somebody, it's going to bother you energetically in a way that you won't even know, or realize. And how much more healing you can do for yourself to just go in and make this person feel better. And we just gotta all have compassion for each other, but think of things in the bigger picture, and your soul, not just what is going on right here and right now, but how you're affecting people. That's not like thinking about the future. That's like just thinking about like your effect on people. You affect people. You affect the energy. You do matter. Matter much more than maybe you even have any idea. So anyways, I just a little ramble there. I swear to God, I feel like I can barely see. My eyes are so, I don't know what happens. Why they just when I get tired, they get more of those things or something get in them, and I can't see past those things, whatever it is. They call them floaters, but I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's the same thing that they're calling the injuries, sports injuries now. Like, it's like, it's not floaters or something that is blinding me from the inside. So, okay. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.